Theresa May has divided her squabbling Brexit war cabinet and frozen out Boris Johnson. Theresa May has divided her bickering cabinet to discuss the options for maintaining trade and a frictionless border in Ireland with the EU after we exit the bloc next year. Ministers failed to reach a decision at a crunch meeting last week. The cabinet met to discuss whether to agree on Mrs May's customs partnership idea or go with the maximum facilitation method, known as Max-Fac, favored by Brexiteers. But Foreign Secretary Boris Johnson and Chancellor Philip Hammond have not been placed on either team to work on the different solutions. Mr. Johnson sparked anger this week after he argued Mrs May's customs partnership option, where Britain would collect taxes on behalf of the EU, would create a whole new web of bureaucracy. He said, "It's totally untried and would make it very, very difficult to do free trade deals. If you have the new customs partnership, you have a crazy system whereby you end up collecting the tariffs on behalf of the EU at the UK frontier." One senior Tory source said Mr. Johnson's remarks were a declaration of war. However, Theresa May still claims to have full confidence in the MP for Uxbridge and South through Islip. The PM's spokesman said, "There are two customs models that were put forward by the government last August and most recently outlined in the Prime Minister's Mansion House speech, which the entire cabinet was signed up to." Following last week's subcommittee meeting, it was agreed that there are unresolved issues in relation to both models and that further work is needed. The Prime Minister asked officials to take forward that work as a priority. Ministers failed to reach a decision at a crunch meeting last week. Ramona Dominic Grieve, the Conservative MP for Beaconsfield, called for the Foreign Secretary to resign. Mr. Grieve said, "It's certainly undesirable in my view that, when you are having cabinet discussions about the best way forwards, members of the cabinet should use the press to articulate their own view in the terms in which Boris Johnson has done it. I have an old-fashioned view of what cabinet responsibility entails, which is that the discussions in government on any given matter are confidential until the time is reached when the government have a collective position." Johnson sparked anger this week after he labeled May's customs partnership idea as crazy. "If you don't like the collective decision, then at that stage you've got to resign." In a scathing assessment of the Foreign Secretary's behavior, Mr. Grieve concluded, "I don't think he is in any way prohibited by normal propriety in government." Mr. Grieve has been an outspoken opponent of Brexit.